Okay. Alright, I think people trickling, that's fine too. Okay, so thank you guys for coming to our first server meeting. We finally got on the books after like holidays and sickness and illness and all that other stuff. We finally like we're all able to come as a staff and then get people in to join on the meeting. So thank you guys for joining. Um, Also, if you guys haven't noticed, we have a bunch of new staff, and majority of them are here. Some other people. We have lots of time zones, like all over from Australia to Europe, and lots of us are in the U.S. But we kind of have most of the hours covered in the day, I think, with most of our staff team. So it's really nice. So say hi, have fun. We're here to help you guys, but also play the game too. So yeah, and everybody's kind of still getting their feet wet and getting trained and in different departments, and because we kind of have different departments among what staff help in. So just be patient as we're still training and getting people in. Even all of us that started when we opened the server, I mean, this is the first time most of us have done this, so we're also still learning as we go. So be patient with us too. Like we're figuring things out, and we have our baseline, but then it's like we're willing to talk about things and change things if it's for the better of the community and better of the server as well. Um, we did just what was it like 2 days ago? I think we hit 800 Discord members. We're growing about 100 Discord members a month. I think we're almost already to 850, and that is from marketing. That is from you guys sharing about the server. I know I've seen some members share photos in Facebook groups and talk about the tack room and mentioning us, and all of that helps us grow and get the community larger. We've only been open since October 18th, so we're growing exponentially, which is amazing because that just means more activities, more friendships, more connections, more everything for the server. So that's a really cool thing to hit 800 in such a short amount of time. Um, but yeah, like we always appreciate when people join in and they're like, "Oh, I saw so and so mention this in this server," or "My friend plays and I saw their Discord status they've been playing." So it's really fun to kind of see where everybody's come from and how people are finding us within all our marketing. So it's kind of like the base in intro. So we're gonna kind of go through some things. So like some advancements we have planned for the server. There is going to be some changes coming starting February 1st. Um, and then kind of cover some other things. So we'll try to make it quick. We do have some of you guys submitted some stuff to the form that I did, so anonymous stuff. But at the end, and you can ask questions as well as if you want to drop them in the VC chat. Staff is watching, so then we can kind of grab those questions and answer them at the very end, just so we can get some things or comments, whatever you guys want to drop in there. Okay, so some advancements, so some script stuff. This is kind of far and myself. So like my side of it. So I've been working on trying to get some ranching stuff working for you guys, trying to piece together things. So I've experienced other ranch scripts and they're not great. They're kind of more frustrating than they are fun. So we've kind of been trying to piece together some things. The ranch script we've been working on still hasn't been officially working. We'll just say there's some other ones we have our eyes on. But within the ranching script, there is also some other things, and I'll do an official release on how to use it. So one is critter care. So any animal on the map, except for, well, farm animals, say for right now, you can actually go and buy like critter shears, a critter brush, critter soap. You'll find that in Valentine. I am working on getting images loaded for stuff. But anything that has critter, you can then go and take care of animals. So if you want to go and give a cow a bath, you can go and do that. If you want to go milk the cow, and eventually that will work into, we've talked about crafting, so might go into that, or selling milk, selling animal products, those sort of things. Another way to make money. Um, but that's what critter care is. You can shear sheep. I think you can even like gather eggs from chickens. Like there's a lot of like little pieces. This also works on spawned spooner animals too. So you could spawn animals out, do the things, and then just make sure you delete them when you're done so we don't have random cows running all over the map. There is also farming in, and we're still kind of tinkering with it. But one thing I did want to make sure that worked is you can grow carrots, and those carrots you can actually feed to your horses. So that is one thing you can do within the farming script. So you can buy the seeds at Valentine, and then you can plant them. You also need a garden hoe and a water bucket. Um, and we're looking at some other things to adjust a little bit with the farming. We found some other interesting things. And I know some people have asked about a weed script, so that's something kind of on the radar for us to look at. Because I know you guys like farming the weeds. And yeah. But yeah, like critter care and stuff, we'll get a guide made so you guys can kind of know how to use it. Farming, same thing. I'll put a guide together on how to use it. Ranching is still a work in progress. I guess the other thing that kind of goes within that is pets. So if you guys have noticed, there is a pets dealer, seller, adoptioner, whatever you want to call them, shelter in Valentine and I think Blackwater. And I know there has been some questions about pets and because you can buy preds in those, so like anything that's dangerous. Um, and we will be updating rules for this, but ideally do not buy the predators because what's going to happen is someone's going to have a pet, a legit pet in a town, and we'll see a cougar and we're immediately going to think it's something in attack. There is the mishap that a pet can attack somebody, and we just don't want to have that happen. It's kind of one of those gray areas. So if you are buying a pet, um, don't buy a pred. So buy a bird, a cat, a dog, those sort of things, and I'll make a guide on that as well. If you did buy a predator, put in. I think we'll find a channel where you guys can put in for like a refund of it, and then we can refund you guys money on that. But it's super cute. Like you can feed your animal, water your animal. You can have your like if you get a cat, it can sit on your shoulder while you go right around. Same thing with birds. Super cute. So it's a really cute script. You can buy the food and water at the Valentine shop under horse. I'm gonna change that to like animal for a category. Um, just because it will be easier because there's a lot of animal stuff that's going under there. So that's the pet script. The other thing we have been working on is a daily gift script. So what that is when you log in, you can type in / daily gift. We're still tinkering it with a little bit, but you can actually claim a reward for logging in that day. So that's in there. We've also looked at a racing script so you can set up racetracks. We need to figure out the full functionality of it if we don't want people setting up racetracks all across the map and leaving them out. So it might just be one of those things like it's event based, but that's something we can roll out once we figure it out further. Is there anything else new, Farwood, that you've got on your radar we've been looking at?
That's like a delivery script, but it instead of it just paying out once, it can be cumulative. So I'm looking into that would if that would work with us, because apparently it syncs with other players, and like I don't know if he's put a group function into it or what, but it just released. So we're just keeping our eye out for like new cool things that we can add, and then like getting other bug fixes up to date. Like right now, I'm still looking into why sometimes the random missions didn't pay out, but we have our dev server up and working, so we're all bug fixing over there, and we're also training several staff on dev, so to hopefully speed that up a bit.
Yep, so there's that. Um, a few things, like just kind of going off this. So the cattle script, the cattle herding script, that is bugged at the moment. So don't go herd the cows in those locations. The dev is aware of it, and we'll be releasing an update. We are aware that housing is a bit bugged with the taxes, so we're working on it. Kind of beeline. I mean, this kind of I guess goes into real estate, but I'll get into that when we get into real estate, because that's a much larger section. Um, we are releasing more training locations. So if you guys have noticed, there is a speed and handling at Emerald Racetrack, and then there is an acceleration over at Dewberry, which is from someone's Spooner code. So I need to post an announcement to give them credit for that as well. But we're working on adding more locations for KD training, and kind of right now we're not really focusing on sire training, as far as I know, just because we kind of got to wait for the impending update from Sire.
Well, we're adding in a few training spots. Like I have a few training spots for it. Just Sire training spots take me a lot longer to get in than KD spots because it's a little bit more complicated.
Yep. And then Far, you want to talk about your build contest because that's coming up to an end here pretty soon.
Yeah, so there's ending the first week, we have a bunch of builds, community builds that people have basically spoonered in for us, and I'm looking into those. You can check them underneath build contests. There's a whole forum there. There's quite a few that are going to get put in, and there will be prizes handed out for best builds and things like that. So you'll see a few new things coming in. I know for sure we're getting a new auction house. We're getting a few training courses out of it. So just keep an eye out for that.
Okay, so then we're gonna go ahead and like jump into changes that are coming. So KD horses, as many people know, once you name a foal, you can't go back and rename it. I know someone mentioned in the forum of can we speed the process up. So to explain how we have to change the names, we have it's myself and Farwood are the only ones that access the database to the server. That database holds all your information, horse wise, player, character, everything. So it is something we protect with our lives because if something happens, it's not good. So the process is slow because we have to manually go in and find every single horse and rename it. So that is between Far and I of what we're doing right now. Eventually, more people might gain access to our dev server or the database. But for right now, it is just Far and myself. And when we have some other things that we need to focus on, that is functionality in the server as a whole, that's why those take so long. They are still closed right now for name changes, and it's solely because there is so many names. So when you are naming a foal, as it does suck right now that we don't know what the foal looks like, we don't know their gender, anything, go ahead and if you have a brand, put the brand on the name because a lot of those requests are just adding a brand. And after we open it back up, we're no longer going to just add brands. Just go ahead and add it to the foal when you're naming it. The other thing to do is, as terrible as it might be of naming your foal, you get the foal and it doesn't fit. Yes, the timeline takes a bit to get a new foal out of that paired of horses, but you might just need to release it and try it again. It comes solely because it is all manual. We have dropped into the dev if they can change this, and I don't know if it's confirmed if they're going to be.
It is. He said that he's going to work on updating people being able to put in their own names.
Okay.
That's an update that's coming, and naming the foals after they're born,
Perfect.
so that you'll actually like see them. So like it is something that's coming. We're just kind of waiting for it at this point and hoping that he does it rather soon.
Yeah, and so we're kind of with a lot of these scripts, we're at the mercy of the developer, and if they get enough requests, and if in their timeline too, like they might have a priority over the horse script. So we're kind of at their mercy, and we just drop suggestions when we get them to try to keep really good like relationships with these devs as well. So it's hopefully coming. We just don't know a timeline. They don't usually promise a timeline, so then we're not like, hey, it's this week and it's not out yet. So when you're naming your foals, just double check before you hit enter. Make sure your brand's already on there if you're adding a brand, just to kind of help with that process. So that's kind of the biggest thing with like KD horses and the names. So after we ran KD for we're going I think almost on 2 months now running KD. We are going to increase the cooldown between breedings. So right now we're sitting at 2, and I believe we changed it to 4 days. Now this won't happen until February 1st. Any of these changes will not come in until February 1st. So I believe we changed it to 4 days. So start batching your breedings. So instead of breeding all your horses at once, batch them. So then you could have a full set day 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is just because when we're looking at the database and how many horses are coming out, and the trend we're kind of seeing is people just breed to breed horses to sell to make money. Yes, you guys are allowed to do that. But it's just going to kind of control it a little bit more. So we don't have like 200 horses born to one player and then there's a lot of horses that run around. So we are going to increase the breeding cooldown. The gestation is still going to stay the same. So kind of think of that 4 days as enough days to then age up a horse. I don't know, however you want to come up with that. So that's kind of the date we kind of came up with, was 4 days um, for the breeding cooldown piece. So that's anything else on KD horses you guys have? Nope. We good?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Okay, so real estate is going to have probably the most changes. Real estate's a really big piece. Um, so we are going to be upping the minimum requirements to 72 hours of gameplay. Right now it's at 30. We are going to up it to 72. We looked at the general play time, and probably as we progress as a server, this time will change, because houses are going to get snatched up way quicker. So we are going to change it to 72 hours of gameplay. There is a thread or some channel in the Discord of housing hour request. Only use this channel if you are looking to see what your hours are at. And like if you're at 20 hours, try not to ping every single day as well. Just being like, hey, can I get my hours in a few days? Because we do have to manually go and check that. So that's one thing. So 72 hours change. We also are looking at our Ko-Fi tiers, and we love that you guys support us. We love that you help out with the server. But being we are increasing the time a bit too, we are starting February 1st. I'm going to say this repetitively so you guys don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. February 1st, we are not going to be allowing the bypass of time for the donator or promoter, which I believe is the $5 and $10, right, Salty?
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
So those tiers, you won't be able to bypass the hours. You'll still have to play your hours, but you still get the other perks that are within that group of stuff as well. So anything above that, you can bypass those hours. If you're going to be building a custom home, so our staff is not going to like help with your inquiry until you have the Ko-Fi tier purchased. And that is solely because we spend a lot of time talking to you guys, helping you find the right place, all of that. So we do want to make sure that like you're committed to getting the house, because it is a lot of time finding the perfect place, looking through the whole map of like can you actually build here. So before you make the inquiry for a custom house, make sure you get the correct Ko-Fi tier. Even if you come in, you make your thing, go get the Ko-Fi tier, send us the pictures of where you want it located, and then we can go through and tell you, yes, this is a good spot, no, this isn't a good spot. Our team is also working on a map on our staff side, so we have an easier way to see how close houses are going to be together. The goal is to not have them bunched up on one another. We don't want a ton of houses all over the map. We love the game for what it looks like, and there's still a ton of off-map space. We are going to come up with a graphic so you guys kind of know not how close not how close to build to the horse park, but like the boundary of horse park, because over time we probably will expand horse park, and we want to be able to have that ability and not run into pool issues and lag issues and all of that. So we'll get a graphic so you guys can also see that. So yeah, just make sure you have the correct Ko-Fi tier if you are buying a custom home. With current Y maps and going forward, if you have a Y map, you're going to get one revision chance, and what that means is you can send us your file of it being completed. Our staff will go through and make all the doors and the gates and everything work. We'll add it into the dev server, and we'll make sure it all works, and then it will get added to live. If you're like, oh goodness, I need to make changes here, you get one revision chance. So we pull the map, you make an edit, it goes back in. And that's just so we're not adding a map 6, 7, 8 times because we noticed something, like something random. So when you do that, just make sure it is the most final file possible. And that's just kind of taking time off of our staff so they can enjoy the game too. That's kind of our main goals. We still want them to be able to play. And then, so after that, if you're like, oh, I want to change my house around, like I just did this. I put my house in when we first opened, and I was like, I want to change some things around. So I would have to wait 30 days because for my house, well, any time. So you still have to wait 30 days to do the edits. In my case, I did more of a 50% revision on my place, so I would have to pay $10,000 in game for that revision. If I didn't have a Ko-Fi tier, I would have to re-up that Ko-Fi tier to do a more than 50% chance. And I know that's kind of confusing, and I'm probably not explaining it the best. Those situations, we can explain it to you and get it more written out. Also, if you want to move your custom house, so say like for me, I live in Hennigan Steed, I wanted to go move to New Austin, I would have to have a Ko-Fi tier again to move. So that's where it can kind of be a little confusing. And that's solely just because it doesn't transfer for a long period of time. If you buy your Ko-Fi when you inquire and say it does take longer than a month to get your house in, because building and everything else, we can still go off that very first Ko-Fi. So don't feel like you need to have an ongoing Ko-Fi to get your first custom house in. Um, and that we can also kind of clarify if those situations come up. There's a lot of like little things that happen that then we can clarify. We just kind of want to have the blanket understanding on housing. Um, Clutter cleanup. So this is something that is going to also be implemented on a long term kind of thing. So we're not staff really isn't going to spend time going into every house cleaning up small clutter and stuff, and it's because it's taking that time to do when we can do something else. But we are going to work up on a cleanup crew, is what we're kind of calling it, that will go through the entire map and clean up as we can go. So you may buy a house that has already been cleaned up. And it's just because it's the time it takes to do every little individual house, every little individual thing. We can spend time doing something else with dev work and advancements in functionality. But so cleanups are kind of just, that's how the house comes. You can cover it up. There's a lot of tricks you can use on using furniture menu items to cover certain things up. So that might just have to be a little creativity to be used. Mowing. So with Y maps, we're going to only allow 2 areas in the location to be mowed. Mowing is a separate process, and it can't be an entire property. So the round pens that are pre-made in Spooner, it's 2 of those. So it's that radius that you can use. So if you have like 2 areas you want to mark, or we tell us, and then that's where we're going to mow it at. Mowing only removes like weeds, shrubs, grass. It does not remove trees. So trees are kind of stuck in place. Taxes. So that we've been having an issue with that plug-in pulling taxes. So we've been researching another housing script. It's on dev. So nothing immediate is going to be changed, but if we decide to change, we will let you guys know. With that, we're also kind of looking, we really want people living in houses that are here on the server and active and playing the server and enjoying their home, not just buy a house and leave. So that's why we kind of are a little bit sticklers on the time and like making sure the people that are here that have houses and have that space are actually playing the server. And I know life gets in the way sometimes too. So of course, if you open a ticket and let us know, hey, I have some personal things going on, we can of course talk to you about it. So with taxes, that we're gonna have some possible changes. We'll announce it when we get those changes and figure it out. But for right now, they're just kind of there. We're trying to figure out why it's not pulling taxes in houses. And then with the new plug-in limits, there might be some higher tax costs as well. And we've kind of talked about raising tax costs monthly for the different size of locations. Boundary. So there are some areas you guys have built in that definitely square does not fit very well. So our team is going to work on different boundaries that still have like the same square footage essentially, but you can fit it in different areas. So like circles, rectangles, that kind of thing. So we're going to be working on that. So you guys kind of have those things. You guys have anything else on real estate? No? Salty? Okay. All right, so then we're going to jump into events. So we are currently allowing players to get events on the calendar by using the event request channel. And you can put something in there. However, we are going to be making some changes. As much as we all love auctions, auctions can take hours. And we don't want really auctions to take up an event spot on a weekend. And then people can't necessarily like book a same event at the same time. So we're not auctions for official hosted events starting February 1st. Are only going to be Tackroom ran ones. So like as a server, we're going to run those. We're also going to give association owners the ability to book their auctions on the calendar. So that's another perk for association owners. And that's going to be the biggest changes for like events. If you have an auction other than that, just host a pop-up. You have an hour to pre-post about it. And then you can get some people in there. I've also seen where some associations have done like collab auctions. So like I've done one. So say I do one with WEC, and then I want a collab auction with Salty with their Pony Club. Great option. Um, we don't want to put any rules on auctions, but also like try to not make them last 10 hours. And so like I think we said what, like 15 to 20 horses is not terrible. Um, so it's just kind of one of those things. We don't want to put rules on it, but just like a suggestion, like a nudge. Don't make them last super, super long. So that's a little thing there. We're not going to be making any changes to pop-up events versus hosted events and scheduling, as in the sense of, like if there was I don't know, like an auction yesterday or today, and someone hosted a pop-up last night. We're not going to put any rules on that. You just got to get an auction. I mean, this isn't going to happen anymore really with these changes, but we don't want to put any rules on like, oh, well, we can't. If I'm hosting a barrel race tomorrow afternoon, Salty can't host a barrel race tonight. Um, we have so many people from all over the world, all over different time zones, everything else. Um, so people will show up if they want to show up. Let's see. What else do we have on here? People that are hosting events. So if you get an official event put on the calendar, you'll have a miss chance. So like if something happens, like the things happen, just let us know. But if you put an event on the calendar and then you didn't show up, you didn't let a staff member know, hey, this happened, you'll then kind of be put on a pause for 30 days before you can get another event on the calendar. That is solely because then we get messages from players asking what happened, why, because they were looking forward to it. They were excited for the thing. So we'll give a one missed chance, or get a hold of us, let us know. And that's the biggest thing. Just communicate with our staff. You can always make a ticket to keep it private. Just let us know if things are going on. Um, Anything else with events, guys?
About all
Trigger
I can
DMs
think
real
of.
quick.
Oh, oh,
Did you hear that?
what'd you say?
Trigger DMs real quick.
Oh, you sent me things.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Okay. The other thing is if you're hosting a pop up, um, ideally, if you are the host, like for a competition, you wouldn't be competing in it. And that when you start looking at it, it does kind of suck. Trust me, I've ran plenty of barrel races and I know I can't compete in them. And it just comes from, and especially jumping comps and stuff, is if you've practiced that jump course 20 million times, you have way more practice than someone else that's jumping. Um, so ideally in pop-ups and stuff, the host would not be competing, and I know that kind of sucks. But I'm hoping as the server grows, we're going to get a lot more of those kind of competitions coming up, so you do have the ability to do it. So that is one thing with pop-ups and stuff, is if you're hosting, don't compete in your own show, don't win your own show. And it's kind of one of those, it just doesn't feel good. Like if I compete in a barrel race of my own and I got first place, that just does not feel good. Um, but yeah, so just another little thing. I think that's Farwood. What were you? Did you say something?
No, I was just agreeing with the.
Oh, okay. Um, I'm gonna go back to real estate 1 second as well. So I know it's exciting to get a house, and you want to check to see when things are, but if you guys can hold back on the just checking in messages, our staff will get to you when we get to you. We have a system, and again, the goal is letting our staff also still play the server, not constantly work. We're all volunteers. We do this because we love the server and love the game. Um, so we'll get to you when we get to you, and if it takes a day or two, it takes a day or two. Um, so just be patient. That's the biggest goal, is just be patient with our staff, because we're working through things and training and all of that. So that was kind of like the biggest thing with real estate as well. We'll jump to associations. So we definitely have some new associations in the server, and you can look at those under the associations channel. Everybody's kind of got their own little unique thing. I know we have Western. I know we have Quarter Horse Mustang. I know we have Draft Horse, Pony Club. We have all sorts of things with associations. I do have a blog on the website kind of explaining the difference between association and bulletin boards and just having a facility. You don't need to be an association to register a brand. You don't need to be an association to have a bulletin board post. Associations just get a few extra perks, like they can have a role where they can tag their members, or like this, they can have association auctions, some other, and we're working on some other things for associations. So association owners, if you have ideas, drop them to us. Like, this would be great for my association. The other thing we're gonna do is, if you're an association owner and you want to start doing entry fees, as long as they're reasonable, not like $1 million, but if you want to start hosting entry fees for events and competitions, that is fine. There's some way to feed, because you guys pay out of pocket like winnings, so that is perfectly okay to do entry fees that are a reasonable amount. Um, Anything else for associations, you guys? Nope. Okay. Send some reminders. So, being that we are still limited on training areas, please share the training areas. Do not hog a training area. One way I've personally always done it is I go 5, you go 5 kind of thing. So, like, I go 5 rounds, you go 5 rounds. So, share the training areas. Be conscious if people are running the same path. Like, I know some of the speed ones are really easy to run one after another, but I know in Valentine there's been a lot of collisions. And collisions, if they happen, just say I'm sorry and move on. But just try to be conscious. Watch your mini map. If someone's running towards you, try to stay to the right. It's kind of what I think most of us do. What do you do, Salty?
You go down right, you come up right.
Exactly. So just stay to the right. So that is just kind of a easy thing, and share them. Don't hug them. Another thing is, please only spawn out a max of 5 of your KD horses. When there is 50 plus horses being spawned out in an area, it's going to cause problems. And when you're done with those horses, please delete them. So we're going to try to, if there's random horses standing around with no riders, just delete them. Like, if you see a herd just standing there and nobody's around it, like, yeah, let's not, because it all is going to affect server performance and other people. And I don't even think, was it max of like 30 objects in an area for what
Yeah,
that can load in? Yeah.
it's kind of.
So it's going to start causing problems. So try to keep it max of 5. I know show and tell is fun, but try to keep it max of 5. If there's any more than that, send them away. All that sort of thing. Another change, or another kind of like update. So it's just kind of like looking Ko-Fi wise and some other things we can kind of offer for you guys. So starting February 1st, we're going to add some new things to the Ko-Fi, and it's a little bit different. So it's not like our normal membership, but it is. So this is kind of a little confusing. But you pay up front for 3 months or 6 months, and it's available for all tiers of Ko-Fi. You get the bonuses already, and you save, I think I did 20% save when you buy in bulk like that. So that's going to be rolled out February 1st. It does take a little bit more of our team's time manually to kind of track them, but that is something we came up with. So there is 3-month and 6-month packages that you can go ahead and prepay on, get your bonuses, get all that for that month, and then save some money as well. So that will roll out February 1st. Okay, we're going to go back to Katie real quick. So if you're spawning horses out, make sure you move the horses away from the main gate, please. I know the other day I was in Horse Park, and there was like 20 horses right by the gate, and we're running in horses and getting beat up and all this. So if you're spawning multiple horses out, move them away from the general populated area, just to kind of keep that area clean, and it's not going to have like a ton of horses in one area and there's going to be problems.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've noticed in the training area in Valentine, I have come across multiple times where people have left their horses out after they log off. Please delete them before you log off the game, because I've crashed into multiple horses without even, because like for a minute it didn't render, and then when it did render, it was like standing where, you know, like where you run back from the speed run. Like I would crash into a horse that's just randomly there after somebody logged out. please, please delete your horses so that way nobody else, is not just me, that way nobody else can crash into the horses AFK if you log out.
Yep. Yeah, so just kind of that little thing. Website tools. So I use the website like an external tool that you guys can access. So there's commands, the rules are on there, staff members are on there, blogs are on there, but all of these like tools you guys have been seeing popping up, those are all in there as well. So there is like the random horse name generator, random horse generator. I added a pop-up event generator now, so you could, if you're like, I want to host a pop-up, but I don't know what I want to do, just go click the button and it can give you an idea. I'm working on some other ones potentially, and I'm all for ideas. If you have the idea, drop them in the suggestions. Also, Sarah's been working on a wild horse map that has been added on there. So any of those like tools and things, I kind of want to build out almost a library for our members, so you guys can always use the website and keep using it as like access stuff. So all the fun things. Okay, I think that's all notes before we get into form submissions. Do you guys have anything to add? Farwood, dev wise?
Honestly, that's about it.
Okay, cool.
Obviously, if you're still running into issues with anything, please make a bug report and we'll work on it. I'm working on a few things. There's a few new courses being added, so.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to go to form submissions, and then I'm going to go, Salty's been typing in questions, and then keep typing in questions as well, and then we'll just go through there. So will we be getting any more roleplay aspects? Farwood? Because you're roleplay person.
What do you think? Unfortunately, roleplay aspects is really like vague. We're not a heavy roleplay server. We do have the profile section and all that. There will be events hosted, but like if people want a heavier roleplay aspect, they're gonna have to either kind of organize some roleplay events themselves as well, or start utilizing the sections that we do have up. If there's a specific script that helps like your role play or help you get into it more, we can look at it. I know we were potentially looking at like blackjack and games like that, to where people wouldn't lose a lot of money, but it would be something that they could sit and they could do together. We're trying to get more of the houses open and things like that, so people have reasons to wander around property and things like that. Just if you want a specific aspect like focused on, you can either do like a suggestions thread to kind of elaborate more on what you mean, or just let me know, because right now I think the biggest roleplay things that we're looking at is like I said, like the poker and things like that we're going to look at to get in.
Yep. Yeah, so there's lots of fun things. And I think Rain is starting a horse herd roleplay, I think. I'm blown away by like the organization, because I've never been a big roleplay person, but I know she's starting something over up in the roleplay channels. So if anybody's interested in that, but yeah, drop the ideas. Farwood's roleplay master over there.
Yeah, I know a lot of Reddit servers focus kind of heavily on it, but we've got such a diverse player base that roleplay isn't like our first thing. Yeah. We're kind of more slice of life sandboxy. However, if there's a want for it and like people start doing it more, I will obviously like start implementing more things for it. It's just whether or not there's like a larger group that wants that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, because then we can, it's still kind of slice of life if you look at it in the roleplay aspect. Okay, so name changes. I already covered the name changes. Train more people and have a few set days. Like I said, it's only Farwood and I right now that can access the database. Appreciate if we would talk about the animal pets that are predators and the rules surrounding around them. We'll get a more solid rule about the preds and stuff and the pets themselves. But for right now, do not buy any of the dangerous labeled animals in there. So like cougars and bears and all that, because as cute as it would be to have Yogi the bear following you through Valentine, most of us are going to think it's some random bear that got spawned in and trying to kill people. as cute as it would be, unfortunately, when you look at the general masses of us, we see a cougar and we freak out because we don't want to die. So, this was
That, and on a performance side, especially in places like Valentine, and one of the reasons that we've kind of stuck to this no predator rule and whatnot is when you start getting that many predators and pets in one place, pets start getting run over, people start blocking major streets. It gets very congested very quickly with the amount of pets that you can pull out.
which also goes to, if you are training your horses, please send your pets away because they get in the way and they get ran over.
And on top of that, do not AFK with your pets and stuff out standing in front of the stables. You should not be AFKing in front of the stables to begin with. Just a heads up.
Yeah, because as we get busier, more people are going to the popular spots. This was an older one that we had submitted to the forum. Inserting the command /horse, which summons and follows the sire horse. So we tried this when we first brought KD in, and as a general, the server just was like, okay, let's just use the whistle, delete the horse you don't want. So that was something, and it's old, but I wanted to kind of touch on it because it came in before. But that's kind of just what we came up with, general consensus of the entire community of.
Well, it also, if you have, so Katie doesn't have an option to set it to /horse. There's no way, they just spawn when you whistle. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is that when you have sire missions, your sire horse has to follow you sometimes. Like, especially if you're like doing the horse rescue missions and stuff. The problem with that is if we put sire on /horse, which you can do, it breaks the follow right now. So we're trying to fix it, but we've yet to come to the ability to, fix sire's follow command so that it actually works. So right now, the only way to have your horse actually follow you without breaking is to have both of them called.
Yeah. The fun of getting two scripts to try to play well together in the sandbox. Literally. So it's just what we try to figure out. So that was kind of that. So how are you going to enforce the 10-hour minimum playtime rule for keeping your house each month? So we've been testing something on Dev, and it is a playtime tracker. So you would just, once we implement it, we'll implement it February 1st, you would do /playtime. Now it's going to start from 0. So starting February 1st, once you hit your 10 hours, you'll see it. Now you'll need to keep track. So if it's March, you should have 20 plus hours, etc., etc., etc. So it's going to be, and it's something we're trying to figure out. And that honestly just comes from trying to make sure those that are homeowners are active in the server and playing, and they're not just joining for an hour, sitting AFK, and leaving. Because there's some beautiful houses on the map that get snatched up very quickly, and then someone doesn't appreciate it for what someone else might appreciate it for. So that's something we're kind of working through and figuring out, but we are going to try this playtime script that we have and see if that kind of helps with the hour requirement monthly. Okay, so now we're going to get into, or actually there's a few more. Hold on, let me go back in here. Like 5 screens. Will there be more build contests for community builds that may get added to the map? Will community hangout spots be added just like a sitting area with a campfire?
Yeah. So, there'll be more build contests once I get these, all in. It won't be with the frequency of, the photography or anything, but I do plan on hosting these every once in a while, so keep an eye out for them.
Okay, so any feedback? The staff is wonderful. Take your time, guys. Don't push yourself or rush to get things done. You guys are doing great. Don't let anyone tell you different. Okay, so next one. So, I'm a player who migrated over from a different server due to changes in housing. Is there anything TTR plans to do differently about housing as the server grows? Can there be a commitment to early supporters with custom houses to honor a one-time payment if there is ever a plan to change that? It's something we could talk about as a staff and see. It kind of also goes hand in hand of people being here and playing and not just joining and dumping taxes and leaving.
Yeah, right now we seem to be focusing on if you have your requisite hours, you don't really need to worry about it.
Yep. So that's kind of the answer to that one. Okay. So we'll get into chat questions. I tried farming and my timer gets stuck. turns red, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. The watering can seems to be very buggy. I have seen the can be a little buggy on the hand. I have experienced that. Um, I've looked at it, like both of us have kind of looked at another farming script as well. So with that, when we figure out a final farming script, for sure, I will get a guide out. So then it's a little bit easier for the farming. How do we feed pets again? So go to the store in Valentine and you can buy pet food. So then you would have your pet outside of not in front of the stable. Um, and then you could click on the pet, I think it is, and then there's feed pet, and then you go to your inventory and double click on the pet food, and that will feed them. Also water them. There's also pet reviver in there too. So I'll make a guide on that. Are we allowed preds if we keep them in our Y maps and stuff? The thing about that is if you let them out, someone else is going to see that and do it also at their place, and then it becomes wildfire. So we're just going to remove preds entirely from the pet script, just so then we prevent the, oh my god, there's a cougar following you. Just to make it easy, because as we grow, things can exponentially explode, really. So we're just going to remove preds. In the current auction house, can the stalls have gates, please? So the only thing with the current auction house with gates, it adds more entities and more collision pieces. There's no gates on it, but there is hitching posts in the back corner of all of them. Unless there is a specific reason for gates besides aesthetics. I kind of don't really want to add gates to that build, plus just leave the build as it is instead of pulling it, rebuilding it, putting it back in. Could we not ask the KD dev to add in so we can change names itself? Okay, we already kind of addressed that. So KD dev is aware of the changing of the names and stuff. Sometimes when I do the training, the things spawn get left behind. Might be worth having a look at that. Farwood, you kind of like the jumps where they get left behind. I know you and Stidge ran into that.
I got a little bit of kid aggro, and then I heard far.
Oh, so like the training things, like on KD, when the jumps get left behind.
Yeah, you just have to spooner him. Usually it happens if you fail, but like he is aware of the bug. Hopefully we can like get it fixed and whatnot. It's why we're trying to get. Also, Myra, if you just hit delete, you can open spooner. But if you, oh man, I just distracted myself. 1 second.
It's okay.
It'll get there. But you can delete them for now. You can also relog to fix it. It's really only like building up for you. And probably what we're going to do from this point on is try to polyzone the courses in like Maze, Night Garden is at this point, because those don't break as much.
Yep. So yeah, just manually delete those. I notice it happens when you like crash. Like when you like crash into a tree, not like game crash, but yeah.
And I don't know why, unfortunately, like why it does that. I've had a ticket open with him and we haven't like yet fixed it. So it's really like that course is one I'm just going to have to either redo in like polyzone but I don't want to take that that space away from people. So like it's just one of those that is currently like kind of on the docket to look at and try to like fix.
Yep. Okay. Do we have teleport housing? So we do not. We're kind of avoiding it for right now because teleport houses aren't amazing. They're dungeony. And if you're not familiar with what teleport housing is you would walk up to a house that does not have a normal interior, and you would click like enter house, and it teleports you to a pre-built home under the map, and it's got like false windows and stuff. So I get it to have more housing as we grow as a server, but I think for right now we're just trying to avoid it, just so we don't have to deal with the bugginess of it and teleporting under the map and all of that. So that's something I think we'll eventually start discussing once houses really get eaten up. But it will be eventually on the housing radar. With the adding of custom horses with a lot of the breeds, I have noticed that by talking to people, 99% of horses are loved and used by players, bar the donkey and mangy. If any of these codes are overwritten, how would this affect the players?
Yeah, I answered that one, Sass, just
Okay.
a little bit. Like, because we've already come to the conclusion that it's just that there's no unloved breeds, which is perfectly good, and no unloved coats, which is perfectly good. So, like, unless it allows us to stream entirely new textures, we're just not going to do it. And it's unfortunately just our Red M issue that nobody's really figured out yet on how to stream custom textures. The one person who does know how to do it, obviously Sire, like, we'll have an update. Maybe we'll have some new coats, and that could benefit us. KD is also looking into it to hopefully see, but right now we're just kind of at a standstill.
Yeah, so we're just kind of doing our thing. We play with things on dev to see what we can do, but the donkey is broken. How is the donkey broken, Millie?
One of the donkeys in KD may not be able to be used. I'm not sure. I heard people occasionally.
The little one?
One.
Yeah, you can't color the donkey. That's even a thing Sire has said is donkeys are, what is it? And donkeys are entirely different, like texture. They're built different.
Yeah, honestly, we might. I can't disable coloring for it, unfortunately. I don't know if you just buy it regularly, if you can use a KD donkey, but if it continues to break people, we might just remove donkeys from it.
Yeah, so that might be good. Okay, so this one I might need a little. In the future, I would love to have a horse ranch with all 4 training in it. Would it be possible? I don't know who asked that, but are you talking personal horse ranch and the training on your ranch? Might need some clarification on that. So we never talked about that, but I don't think we'll add training directly to ranches.
It kind of depends, in my opinion. Something Sass and I will have to talk about more. Like, because here is the thing: personal ranches and stuff, people get really protective over their territory, and if I'm putting stables and training at your place, first of all, it's inflating the value of your property quite a bit. Second, like, you have to be okay with whoever is going to be there. Like, and not everybody can do that. It becomes a big thing because we're not going to respond to tickets of being like, this person is on my property, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's kind of been the deal when you get stables put in that you have to be okay with the different people on your property as well to use the stable. So, like, I don't think we're going to go as far as, like, having personal training courses just for that reason.
Yeah, we'll just increase training around in public zones.
Yeah, it's taking us long enough at this point to get regular training, like more spots of training on the map. I don't want to add personal requests to it as well. Like, we want to finish our infrastructure first. It's why I'm training 3 different people to make courses. So,
will applications open again anytime soon? So I'm assuming the staff applications. As of right now, no, we haven't talked about anything. We are still training our staff, the new ones. So as of right now, we're not opening applications anytime soon. I know Far's kind of got the flag of if she sees someone that's got dev potential or dev abilities, she can nap you and kidnap you and help in dev. But other than that, for other staff, we are very well covered. I mean, I will say this personally, like, our staff is amazing. Like, we brought this group on and they all hit the ground running, and so they're great, and we grew so fast, and having the help from all of them is amazing. So for right now, we're not going to open applications. We're going to let these guys get their feet dug in the mud, and once we open applications, we'll announce it, of course, and then take applications then. Yeah, we'll put that out there. Could we possibly get an auctioneer role, a role that people can have if they are willing to volunteer their time to help people with auctions? I'm good with that idea. You guys good with that idea? We have builder role. I don't see why we can't have an auctioneer role.
yeah, that sounds good. Oh, God, I'm fine.
Farwood's a great auctioneer. Her auctions are fun. She tries to do the whole auctioneer talk, too.
I mean, I do it semi.
Yeah,
I can thank my uncle for that one.
You do fun. Yeah, so we'll do that. So Salty, I don't know if you want to note that somehow to add that role. Maybe we could have a community event horse sale where anyone who has horses to sell can sell a certain amount. We have talked about a sale pen. So people would be limited to a certain amount of horses. Probably more than likely we'd use Outback because there's a lot of sale space. So that is something that is on staff radar to organize and do. So we would probably limit it to like 3 to 5 horses a person, and you can only bring one at a time.
We are also looking into other, like, auction-esque kind of events. Like, one that came across was no money changes hands, but you bring horses to trade, so it's a one-for-one trade kind of deal. Like, you bring a bunch of, like, a few horses that you're comfortable with trading, trade with other folks, and stuff like that. So stuff like that is also, we're trying to think up of unconventional ways to do auctions in a way.
Yep. Yeah, so just some other ways to transfer horses. Okay, this isn't a question, but I'm dropping in here. So, for those that are newer, we have the 2 horse scripts, Katie and Sire. Sire released to us, about a month ago, that when he pushes his update, which we have no idea when it's going to happen, that all of the Sire horses currently in the server will be replaced. Like, they will be removed. Because the databases do not line up. What that means for players is all your Sire horses, and don't freak out, you need to sell them off. We will announce to you guys when that date is. Right now, no reason to worry. But just in the future, know that there will be an announcement from us saying, hey, it's that time, sell off your sires, the update's coming. And so just to know that. Don't know when.
And to kind of bolster afterwards, we will bump up XP training for about a week afterwards. So that you guys can kind of rebuild and stuff. We'll have a few events to hand out some horses and stuff like that. Just unfortunately, like he said, the color wheel and stuff just does not work with the update. So for us to have breeding from sire and the color wheel on your horses and stuff, we have to basically like wipe our database clean and then upload it. So
Yep. Yeah. And when we get there, we'll figure it out. But again, it could be end of the year. We have no idea. So we have no idea. We have to still talk about all the things with that. Could we have a suggestion box for associations that only the owners can see? I'm good with that. If we want to make a channel that only association owners can have input on, if we want to add that to the Discord list, Salty.
I'm all about mutual teamwork.
Yep, absolutely. Because that's the thing, is like the server grows with your guys' ideas and things we see and all of it. Because as much as like we had a goal for the server, in the end of the day, it's what the players want and what, for the health of the server, it's going to go to. You mentioned registering a brand. How would one do that? So under the association's channel, the very bottom, there is something registering a brand and a brand form. You do not need to have any official association. You don't need to have anything. Like you can literally just say, I want to run Running Creek Ranch. This is the ranch I want to run. I'm going to do RCR. That's my brand. You would go in and fill that form out, and then it puts it into a spreadsheet. Or if you're looking to start a brand and you want to make sure yours isn't already claimed, I've ran into that before personally too, and it's like, that kind of sucks. But you can go and look at the brand sheet, and I think I fixed it. But you can go see what brands are registered. So that's all you got to do. You just got to go fill out the form, and it automatically goes in the sheet, and then you can build out your brand however you want. The other fun thing is when you buy a horse from an auction that you're like, oh, where did that horse come from? Like, I think I owned a horse before that was one of Sunbee's lines because it had Sunbee's brand. Sunbee, I'm sorry, I'm throwing you out if you're in here. But it was kind of cool going back and looking at like, oh, this is a Sunbee horse. This might have had Glory in its lines or something like that. So it's kind of fun to build that all in, and then kind of establishing. And then once you have a brand, if you want to build out a place within Bulletin Board, go right ahead. So you can go and create a thread or post in Bulletin Board, and then that can be like your little area. If you don't want to build out a huge website or anything like that, that can be like your little area for your facility. So that's how you would do the brand. Could we maybe implement a gold to money vendor if there isn't one already? I thought we had one. I think we were talking more leaving it to players.
So yeah, what I did say, like, but it doesn't really seem like anybody's kind of setting up that monopoly of like, hey, I'll purchase your gold for cash or anything like that. So we may want to look into it.
Yeah. So we
Also, yes, Katie horses will be staying when sire breeding is released.
I'm gonna answer this one quick. So Aya, I always say your name wrong. Brand form is under associations channel. I don't know if one of the staff wants to tag her in that or drop the link. Oh,
I
Salty already
did.
did.
Yeah, I
Salty
was gonna
already did.
say.
You guys are good. So yeah, that's the brand stuff. So the money vendor, we can talk about it and see for sure. Of what kind of
So you
vendor.
can buy all of the Katie horses with gold now. You can
Nice.
also like there's we can honestly bake in options to buy sire horses with gold if need be.
Yep. Okay. Our bonuses reoccurring for Ko-Fi subscribers month by month are only upfront and initial. So you do month to month. There is also a sign-on bonus for those. So you'll see some of them. It's like whatever, like $6,000 sign-on plus monthly money. So the sign-on you get once. Now, if you subscribe now, cancel, come back in 2 months, you're only gonna get the sign-up bonus once for the money. But other than that, they are reoccurring. You need to get with our player experience team, and when you get into Ko-Fi subscriptions, you get access to channels in there. And I know the team's really good about pinging people like, hey, your rewards are ready. Do you want to come get them, etc., etc. So you would just need to like be around to get a hold of them, or they'll ping you so you can get your rewards. Have the collectible payouts been fixed? I don't know. Are they not working again?
I think we figured that one out. I think they are.
Okay, so that one we fixed. Will the vet stuff ever be added into the furniture menu? I think probably. May, I know you're working on that.
Yeah, I can note it down.
Yeah, I think it's NTC_vet stuff. That stuff I had commissioned for veterinary things. There's a water treadmill, a stand, a breeding phantom, muzzles, IV fluid bags, IV fluid holder.
It's going on the list. I'll get it.
Awesome. Could we get a bonding training spot at Dewberry? Yeah, we could probably do that. And this Farwood, you and I might need to talk about this. I couldn't get a handling spot there that would not try to transfer me over to Emerald Racing. So we can talk about that. But we could probably add a bonding training over at Dewberry, so there's a few more uses over there. Are there plans to work on the blacksmith in the near future? I guess kind of what more details with blacksmith or ideas? I'm not super familiar with blacksmith in the near future, or like blacksmiths in general in the game.
So like the blacksmithing right now is for the fishing, but it's a little broken until the dev fixes it. So
okay.
I don't know exactly. I mean, we could keep an eye out for scripts and stuff, but
yep.
Yeah, Vic. So like Sire is, as far as Sire says, Sire is working on a color wheel like Katie has. So like the hope is that you get the same customization on all of the Sire horses as well.
I think wasn't there something about adding and removing feathers too? I don't know.
I don't know for
Yeah.
sure.
It's all like speculation because I mean, if you're familiar with Sire, he drops hints and then he runs and does his dev work, which is amazing. I think there was something mentioning size too, like you could change the size of your horse. But again, don't know. It's speculative at this moment. Let's see. Okay, vet stuff, bonding. Okay? I think a D20. Oh, I think you already answered this for Abby. The D20 roller tool in game.
Yeah, if I could find a script for it, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen one like that, unfortunately.
If there's one that you guys like to use or something, or even if I can chat GPT something, I might need to work with you on that, and I can get it added to the site, so it's like linked quickly.
Because they want one. They want one in game. So
yeah. Okay. So maybe I'd make a rule to have just one pet out. Pets you can have max of 2 at a time. We can change it. So that's something we can discuss as a team if we do want to limit it to just 1 pet at a time or 2. I mean, like, I know you could have like a bird and a dog. So I mean, that might, I don't know. We can talk about it. I think I limited it at 2 for right now. Okay, this is a firewood question. What about hunting? I noticed that sometimes animals fall through the map, or pelts will disappear off your horse, or the prompt won't show up at the store with the pelt. Isn't that desyncing?
That's just a desync issue. Unfortunately, that's actually on Red M. There's not anything we can do about it. Yep. It's just a Red M issue that they have not fixed. Yeah. And usually happens if you're hunting in the same area as another person.
Okay. I think I asked this in the question sections. Will we start having more photo and video comps? That's the hope. Now we have more staff to help host it. Through the holidays, it got a little crazy with all the giveaways and stuff, so we're gonna start ramping that stuff back up a little bit. But yeah, we can start working on video comps. So then you guys can submit some things and we can use it. And always love when you guys say yes, you can use it on social media or the website or anything, because I like to share that stuff from you guys. Will KD horses remain when sire breeding is released? Yes, we will keep KD horses. Don't know for sure if we'll keep the breeding element. That's not officially, but we've discussed it. But KD horses will stay. Because there's some people that are partial. I mean, I like KD training way more than sire training. It's way more fun to me. But yeah, we'll let you guys know. Will the sire
and KD is releasing another script that Saz and I are looking into that may be able to stream custom codes. We're not 100% sure yet, but he is working on it. So
we're looking. Will the sire stables need any fixing? Just thinking of the stables at people's houses. I'm guessing you mean the stables that we have set. I don't.
We're hoping not. I doubt it, because I doubt he's going to mess with that part of the config, but we're hopeful not.
Hopefully not. Oh man, hopefully he doesn't reset stats and config and all that.
At the very least, we still have everybody's coordinates and stuff, so hopefully if he does do that, we can just transfer it over.
Yep. Okay. Okay, what is this? Okay, fair. But about the blacksmith script, maybe a general suggestion: if there is a bug report about something that you have no control over, instead of leaving it on red and not replying at all, just let people know. Always makes a better impression than it seeming like being ignored and not being cared about. That's something as a team we can work on, is when a bug report comes in, we can have some people watch it.
I mean, the problem is that half of the bug reports are literally the same thing. So I will reply to one, because I am one person. I will reply to one and I'll work on that one. And then obviously because it's a bug, multiple people will submit the same thing. And I've made announcements before that the blacksmith is broken. I've made announcements that it's not working. Unfortunately, it's not that I don't care, and it's not that I'm not seeing it. It's that at the moment, there's probably several other bug reports, because I check that channel daily. So even if you're not getting a reply right away, please do keep in mind that I am in there and I am sorting through bug reports trying to fix them. I just might not either be onto yours yet, or I'm replying in a similar thread somewhere else farther down. I am unfortunately, I am one person, and there's only so much I can do with that. It's not that I am trying to ignore you or your concerns or anything, but I am one main dev trying to train 4 different people. So
yeah, and Ozzy and Vic said, is try to do some research beforehand, because I know I've said it a few times, but we don't want our staff only being here to work, because that ruins the game. Which also kind of goes hand in hand of if we're in the server, do not run up to someone and say, why is my house not in? Because sometimes we just want to play with our pretty ponies. That's what we want to do. So yeah, try to do your research a little bit beforehand. Even using little tiny terms of blacksmith bug, cow bug, stuff like that. And if
you're not getting a reply from me, just know that I do check that channel daily. It's just that I'm probably prioritizing a bigger bug at the moment.
Yeah.
So
all right, I'll I'll read this off.
And what I can do is I can try to do a running bug post that is like just at the top. I tried to do it the first time, but it is kind of hard when things like break and then I fix them real quickly. So like it's just to keep like in mind, like I'm doing the best I can. That's really just the like I'm getting multiple questions about it, and like I am the only one that really works on those bug reports right now.
Plus, you've
So
been very sick.
that's really it. I've been sick since like December.
Yeah,
so
you've been really sick. Yeah, and so I mean we try our best, whatever we can do, and just have patience with us. Hin says, not a question, but wanted to shout y'all out. Thank you so much for giving credit on photos. It was tiny in the corner, and coming from someone who's a pro content creator and photographer, IRL, giving credit means so much to me. Thank you so much. Yeah, I like anything I post, I try to give you guys like credit if I can find a logo or something like that. And yeah, because I love sharing stuff. I mean, a lot of the people that get intrigued by the server is like when we drop photos of one of the custom coats, or I dropped a video the other day of me customizing a horse. I mean, I think a lot of people from TikTok have seen those, but it's fun to even share your guys' stuff and photos. I know, like Sunbee, I know you just posted some stallion stuff. I know, like a Hins, you post your stuff. I know, like everybody just posts photos. So I'm sorry if I bombard you with, can I use this for social media, which usually is social media or website. But I think that's all the questions. Let me make sure no one submitted anything to forum. The anonymous form we'll still do for any future meetings. So then if you guys don't want to type in chat or anything, you can submit it through this forum. That forum will always be up. So even like between meetings, if you want to drop something in there, go right ahead. I can always go through and look at them again. But that will be there so you guys can drop stuff. I'm sorry, I was on your For You page, but hi. Yeah, I post those all the time. Anybody else got anything else? Suggestions? Questions? Comments? Seeing multiple people typing. Yep. Millie's typing, Vic's typing.
And Frost Feather.
Frost Feather? Oh, I see Frost.
Okay.
I have it. Okay, I
Can't
have my
leave
screen
them out.
I have my screen very small, okay?
See, look, they said something
Lord.
nice.
I know.
They should have said something mean because you left them out.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
Let's see. Yeah, other than that, just keep on trucking. Keep doing things. There's lots of things that go on behind the scenes. Sire does have all the... Okay. In the future, if Sire does have all the things and people have KD stables at the property, do we have a chance to change the stables? I think we'll allow one change, but you will need to pay again for it. Because that's one of our questions we ask is, what stable do you want set up? But you will need to pay the $30,000 again to have it reset up, because it does take a little bit of time to set those up, especially Sire. I personally think Sires are way harder to set up than KD.
Very.
Because you have to set every camera angle perfectly. So you have to spawn a horse out. Like, I have to fix mine because I screwed my camera up on mine.
It was so sad.
Yeah, I need to fix mine.
They require different X, Y's, and Z's too, and Sires is objectively harder to set up. Like Sires requires 5 different camera angles.
Yeah, Vic, no in-game money. Sorry.
Yours is still broken. We keep trying to fix it.
Not IRL money, no.
Yeah. No.
Oh god, Salty, you made it worse.
But you didn't put it in, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Because I checked it in dev and it just, there was no worse.
hopefully stables will be quicker because I now have like 3 people trained on able to do stables. So
Yep.
Yeah.
And now that we have a dev server, which thank God we have one.
Oh,
that
it's
makes-
really helpful.
We don't have to break our main one anymore, which is nice.
Oh, you don't. It's not nothing being accepted. It's just submitted and it goes right in. Aya. First make your character. Okay, is the character body editing different from when you first make your character to when you edit it in Valentine? So my character looks like a pancake. So Reboot Clinic, you can go in there and it's, I think there's a little bit more customization to it. But you can fully edit your character again. So that's why, like, I tell somebody usually, like, join the server, don't finish your character. If you want to just start playing, get in, play the server, and then you can go to Reboot Clinic and get some work done. I just posted branding Sunday. I'm not plugging, I'm just answering. But yeah, I just posted a thing on bulletin board today. Of course, anyone else is welcome to do it too, not just me. I'm not.
I mean, I've been answering questions this whole time. Unfortunately, the questions that I did answer didn't end up in the question queue anyway.
Oh, yeah, I was like, it's okay.
I was writing down all of the questions,
Which was
in
great.
the chat.
Which was great.
Literally, yeah, no, but I was
putting them
answering them
down.
right after most of them.
Hey, that's okay.
I should have just.
Good job, Salty.
That's okay. And I'm recording this thing too, so we have the audio. So if people want to watch it later, they can.
That works.
Purchase, I love purchase.
Oh,
Granted,
God.
okay, a sire Icelandic sized up is a beautiful Percheron.
That's true.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Totally forgot this. How do you tell if a house is available to purchase? I see the red paddock icon and green one, so I want to be sure. A really great tip that we figured out the other day: when you walk up to a house, hit F8. If there is a number associated with the house, it is currently owned.
Oh,
Yep.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Victor, there's no rehab people. I know you used to do a lot of rehab, and there's a water treadmill.
It's true. It's really cool.
It's very cool.
It's really cool.
So you could do rehab, because I was always looking for a rehab barn.
Sometimes people want to RP that their horse needs some rehab, you know?
Hmm. That's cute.
That's
I
so
like
cute.
that.
And the thing is there, even though there's like other vets, I mean, the thing is it never hurts to have a same vet. I mean, I think the first time I ever opened a vet clinic, I even asked Vic, because Vic was the vet at the time, and I was like, "Is this okay?" I was like, and even like I think with the Western thing, I messaged you like, "I don't want to step on your toes. I'm so sorry," but there's always room for more. Like, come sit at the table with all of us, please. Because perhaps, like, if Vic... I'm throwing Vic out here because I know Vic did vet stuff. If Vic did different vet stuff than me, that's okay. Like... I know, we did. I'm bringing mine back. Salty's going to be helping me with mine. Not that I don't need to put anything else on my plate. Because I'm a crazy person. That's why I survive on caffeine.
Oh my gosh.
Any other questions or anything else?
Suggestions?
Yeah. There's a lot of
Feedback?
comment. Feedback. Ooh, yeah, I could have that horse retirement option.
I love that.
Yep, let me go ahead.
That 8 Aussie.
Go here. Yeah, like, we're all up for the ideas. If you guys do things that it's like, oh, this would be really cool to have, like, if you want off-the-track rescues kind of thing, I know we have a lot of thoroughbred people, like, OTTBs, like, we can do OTTBs, we can add all of that. So all the ideas, because again, we're here to kind of help make the server the game space you guys want to be in. Discord name, horse facilities. All right, let's do option horse retirement. We have 55-ish brands registered.
I have to register mine.
Brand registry should be updated. Okay.
Oh, quite a bit of people typing.
Oh boy, that's okay. Housing menu request. Like furniture, Kina? Or... Yeah. May's working on the furniture menu.
Yes. I'm also working on a doc that has all of the pictures to all of the housing furnitures. It's like 65% done.
Amazing.
So there will be like visual aspects for all of the stuff that you can place.
Amazing, because I tried starting one in the beginning and then I just kind of was like...
No, I did like 6 categories in I think like 4 hours, and I was like, this is a lot. And then I just ADHD forgot about it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, I love making guides and stuff, but it's a lot.
Yes. I think one category has like 60 items, and I'm like, okay.
Small lean-to for horses, not a whole stable building, but just a roof. So the only thing with lean-tos is it's one of those, it kind of goes into then at that point, it's almost a Y map. And I don't want to come off of like, oh, you have to pay to get this, right? But the problem is someone that has a very small house that doesn't have a lot of property, then they can go put that out in the middle. And that would be the negative side of it is they could do that with lean-tos and stuff. Or place
we already have like a smaller stable though.
Not in furniture menu.
Oh, not in front. Never mind.
Yeah, not in furniture menu. Victor says, I dragged my IRL husband here and I'm super happy having an MLO and stuff. Very satisfied too with the people and the treatment. The server's so clean too. I love it. And tickets for different issues. That is so generous. Genius. Sorry. Love the order, the clean and gently. This server is perfect. I hope it stays like that. That's our hope too.
We're trying. I will say, like, I know dev stuff kind of like slowed for a bit there, but that was because I literally took so badly ill over the holiday break that I was like in the hospital twice. So.
Yeah, you were like dead, and we're like,
I was not alive.
Far was struggling.
So we'll hopefully get some stuff here rolling and whatnot.
Yep. And now we have devs there. We can break things. Yes.
Yeah, I can let other people break things. Because we've got people trained on putting Y maps in, which is why Y maps are getting in a little bit quicker than usual now, and that'll hopefully keep up because we're able to test them and see if they break and then put them in without breaking the whole server. So we're trying to put we got a really good group of staff now. Like everybody's been working together really nicely. So like my hope is that like over the next few months, obviously, like that we can give them a little bit more let's see, like just a little bit more training and get everything like running smoothly.
Yep. And also you guys are helping us almost hit our cap for seats. We might have to increase the seats here eventually soon.
Yeah, we've been getting close to that 43.
How do we go about requesting mowing if it's really random cut downable trees? It'd be within your Y map request. You could talk to the real estate agent that's helping. And then they can get the things and then we can add it in. Yeah, I think it removes the little tiny twiggy trees, I think. Jeff. Isn't that Soph? Is that the tree in front of your barn? Right? Yeah.
No, it's Abigail's barn, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, could we have a small updates forum or a quiet channel for small updates as things are added? Because I've noticed that some things have been added and I go, wait, that's a thing? So, like, the pets, for instance. The pets, I didn't make an announcement because we're still testing it.
Yeah, so, like, if you are noticing new things that were stealth added, it's likely because we're actually testing it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're, like, this won't happen so much now that we have the dev server, but we had to, like, quietly put things in for a while and then see if, like, they worked, because we were just working off of we were just working off of live. So that won't happen as much anymore. Like, you'll just see updates for when we add things.
Yeah. Might say somewhere, but can you make some small YMAP stuff on an already existing house, like adding a little arena or something? So if you own an in-game house, so like if you own the Dewberry house, right? And I don't know if Dewberry is an MLO, but if you own that house, you can go in the house and you wanted to add ML or Y mapping stuff to it, you would still need a Ko-Fi membership to add the Y map stuff, as well as then pay in game for that Y map to be added. So it's an option, but you would need the Ko-Fi for the Y map still, and you don't have to have the max size. Like if you just want to add something little, you could grab the 25 by 25 one. I love the new pet script. You can go out of render and come back and it can stay there. It's pretty cute. I like the animations. I don't know if anybody hears me always hollering at my dog Mater IRL, so I've Mater in game. And like I love this sitting and howling because it's literally Mater and the rolling around in the dirt. It's literally Mater. It's a very cute pet script. Like I think it's adorable, especially where you can have like a bird sit on your shoulder or you can have your cat sit on your shoulder. And you can pet them. For the stable, what do we... I can't always remember this. Hold on, let me go look. So the other thing with the stable, I will drop this before I go look at the thing. We're trying to space them out. So, like, if you're very close to another stable, we probably will say, no, it's already really close to a stable. We don't want to, like, have the map look like chickenpox with stable icons. So, yeah. What do we say? I think it's VIP and up, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, so VIP and up. So VIP or sponsors when you can have a stable added. No, you can do KD or Sire. Stable. One or the other. How do you know if trees are removable? I think the removable trees are the ones that if you go around and do lumberjack, it will cut those down. I think. Don't quote me on that. But kind of just safe point is saying trees are just not removable because they're just part of the map. Yeah, pretty much tweaks. Those aren't going to be added to... So could some of the smaller shed and pens be added to the house menu, like the green pens? So that kind of goes with the lean-tos. It goes into Y mapping, and so for that, we're probably not going to add those into the furniture menu. I do have a round pen in there, and I know that's confusing, but for round pens, I know people love the round pen for their horses, but sheds and stuff, I feel people would go exponentially crazy with pens. Even if we said one pen, someone will probably add 6 to 10 of them. I tested the pet script with a fox, let it lay down on my house, went all the way to Rhodes and came back and the fox was still there. Though it wasn't mine anymore, but no, it was mine, and I made a command to stand up and follow me, and it did. That's kind of cute. You need to bring back your white fox, Vic. Your ornamental one. So I liked your little white fox. No, you need to remake it. Okay. Any other things? I don't want to hold you guys super long. Granted, not too bad. An hour and a half.
I'm gonna head out because
Yeah,
I'm
go
still
go
tired
go
from
take
it,
your nap.
and I need to make dinner for
I
my
know,
small
it's
children.
I know. I
So
gotta.
thank you all for coming. Again, thank you for the continued support. We are really trying hard. You know, just to make it like as nice as we can. We're still looking at all of your suggestions. Like we're still keeping them in mind, and like just thanks for being on this journey with us. Like we just really appreciate it.
Yeah. Can we add the pet script doghouse to the furniture menu? So there is. It's not a doghouse, but it's an outhouse, and if you put it low enough in the ground, it makes a doghouse. So there's one in there. But if there's cuter doghouses in Spooner, then we could potentially add those. And if you need a doghouse example, go to the ranch south of McFarland's, my place, and you can see the outhouse is a doghouse. Pretty cute little place. Vet stuff doghouse. Yep. Like I still gotta figure out dinner. I think we're gonna do fish again, something. Yeah, there is some straw in there. So that's what I'm saying is like if there's some ugly stuff on a property, you can use some of those bales to like overlap and cover things instead of just like remove. So gotta get a little creative. Yeah, you can be sneaky with furniture menu. There's some things. And also we're like, so furniture menu too, when you guys buy a Y map, we're realizing that the size we set on the house is sometimes not covered the whole property. So I think our team is starting to ask like, where do you want the map center to be? And it might not always be on your front door. And I like my house, it doesn't cover the back part of my property. Because my menu is on my house rather than the center. Well, we have it set to 1,000. When we set up like furniture menu, we set it to 1,000. And I think May did like what'd you say, May? It was like the diameter of the square.
Yeah, so when you place like the 100 by 100, if I'm going to explain this horribly, I'm so sorry. So the 100 by 100 meter, the my internet is going.
Oh, yep.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I
Nope,
have
you're
packet
good.
loss.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
I'm sorry.
It's
So it's basically from the middle of your property to the edge. And now it's going out again. I'm so sorry.
Yep, middle of the property to the edge. So like where the pole is from the middle of the 100 by 100 or whatever to like the outside edge of it is kind of the distance. Yes. Yeah, so it's just like you gotta kind of figure out where the center of your property is going to be if you want the entire property to be covered by that. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else? Questions, ideas that have come up? What's your favorite cookie flavor? Oreos. I have Oreo milkshake stuff downstairs.
Oreos.
Share.
Listen,
I came out
I
of nowhere just
like
for this.
I like pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. I don't know why. They're so good.
Ooh.
All right.
What?
All right.
chocolate chip with pecans. Yeah, but
No thanks.
yeah, I also like pecans and brownies. I'm one of those people. And I'm like, I need to go make food. I'm like, I don't even think I've eaten lunch yet today.
Oh, girl.
I know. Ooh, Whopper actually sounds kind of good.
Oh, that's funny.
I ate food, but now I don't feel good.
Oh no,
Oh.
that's never good.
Did you just eat a bunch of cheesecake? Is that why?
Here, I'll trade you Oreos for cheesecake. Across the table, barter.
I did not. I made homemade chili, okay?
Okay, I was like, you just
Cheesecake.
eat a bunch of cheesecake, because I'll do it. That sounds
But-
good.
Yeah, maybe there's ingredients that like my stomach can't handle anymore. I don't know, but
That's
it's killing
tough.
me.
That's what happens when you get old.
But
Excuse me.
it's okay. I'm already sitting in my grave at this point. I'm just waiting to bury the dirt on top of my legs. It's fine.
Please.
I'll help you.
Kina,
Yo.
under real estate, can I anchor a ped to my house? No, there is no way you can have peds out with your house. The other script we've looked into has that possibility, but it's kind of complicated. Like, it's cool, but it's kind of complicated. Plus, if someone's gonna spawn out like 20 cows, that's gonna be a huge problem. Like, that's the hard thing is maybe people might do 1 or 2, but if you have 10 houses in an area that does 1 or 2, now we have 20 cows just sitting there. Isn't there like a taxidermy raven? I think. There might be. Look maybe in taxidermy stuff. I know there's a squirrel with a gun, so there might be a raven in there.